Guys, it's been a few weeks since CES, and yes, I know I'm a little late on getting this content out, but you know what? I'm a little bit busy, and since this year it was both in-person and virtual, I've been able to connect with a lot of the companies before, during, and after the show, so that's been great. It was an interesting show this year, what with it being part virtual and part in-person. I did attend the media days, so I got there a little bit early. I went and saw some of the press conferences. And upon arrival, they gave us one of these COVID testing kits. So in addition to the vaccine requirement that we had, they gave us the kits to test yourself, ahead of time. Great news. I was negative both times, so no issues there. And then in Las Vegas, they did have the mask requirement. But overall, attendance was way down this year. And I think a lot of that had to do with, obviously, Omicron variant going around, but then also a lot of companies making a decision that, hey, we can just have our employees attend virtually. And a lot of the people that were there were mostly the decision makers and executives. And so for me, as someone from the media, that was nice because I could go connect with them directly. And so it was a very productive show, had a lot of great contacts with companies. So we have a lot of awesome content coming for you guys this year. But in this video, I'm just going to go over some of the big trends that I saw, what I thought was important. And so the big thing at CES this year was the electric vehicles. GM announced the new specs for their Chevy Silverado EV. They looked very impressive. However, it'll be interesting to see the timeline when the vehicle is actually available and at what price point things end up being. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. But in addition to these electric vehicles from GM, Sony had their concept cars, which is kind of interesting to see if they're going to get into the automotive industry at all. BMW had a color changing car that used e-ink that changed from white to black. That's kind of cool, but I don't think it's ever going to go mainstream. I think they're just kind of showing off the cool tech. To go with all these electric vehicles, electric charging, both at home and for businesses, was a big focus. There were several companies that offered new solutions, including Wallbox, which has a charger that could be capable of doing bi-directional charging in the future. So if you had a compatible car, you would actually be able to use your car as a backup for your home. So you'd use the car battery, which is really impressive. In addition to that, other companies had affordable solutions for multifamily houses and businesses where people could share the same charger, use their systems in order to do the payment method. And so that's going to be really cool to see. Of course, with the new infrastructure bill, there's a lot of money available for states and counties, cities to install electric vehicle chargers around the U.S. So I think that trend is going to continue through this year. On the smart home front, we saw a number of new announcements from companies and an overall trend where companies are kind of expanding their product lines. So Wemo, which is known for their smart plugs and their smart switches, well, now they've got a really cool looking doorbell that's going to be HomeKit compatible. And so that's them kind of branching out and saying, hey, we can be in these other product lines as well. The benefit for the consumer, of course, is going to be that all of your products are going to work under the same app and you're going to know that they're compatible with each other. So that's really cool to see. And that was true for a number of other companies as well, including Sync and Hampton Bay, Array. So I think we're going to see a lot more of this expansion that way, but also we're seeing more collaboration across companies as well. Schlage announced a lock that you'll be able to open with your Apple Watch with Apple Key functionality, so that will be really cool to see. And then the big talk, of course, is about Matter. If you follow any other smart home channel, I'm sure you've heard about it. So Matter is going to be this new protocol that all the big companies are a part of. And while there wasn't really any products announced for Matter, it's more about that tech being in the pipeline. And so not having to worry about having a hub, or if you have Zigbee or Z-Wave or Bluetooth, just knowing that you can purchase a device and then having it automatically work is going to be like kind of the future. So we have that to look forward to, and it's good to see that the market is cooperating. And of course, the Z-Wave Alliance is still going strong. they had quite a few companies at their pavilion, and they showcased a number of new like lock products. There was one where the door actually, the inside part of the door unlocks as opposed to the deadbolt. So I think that's great for multifamily. And then they showed a door, the Masonite, where all of the components were actually built in. And so it has hardwire power for your doorbell and for your lock. And so you wouldn't have to worry about changing batteries. With everyone worried about COVID and stuff, air quality has really become top of mind. We've covered air things in the past. They just announced their Plus line, which actually has a little display on the front. And that's going to show you in real time what your radon level is, what your particulate matter is, overall like humidity, things like that. So that'll be really cool, and I'm looking forward to testing that out. I did actually purchase the new Amazon air quality monitor, as well as one from Aqara. And so my plan is to test air quality here in our home, get a baseline measurement, compare the different monitors, but then also taking a look at a number of different air purifiers that we saw at CES. And so a few companies have already reached out and offered to send units. And so basically what I'll do is get the baseline and then put the purifier in the room and see like what effect it has overall for like a week period of time. And so really kind of look at, what is the overall effect, and then I'll also look at the cost, the noise that it makes, as well as the power consumption, because these are things that you'll want to consider when you're looking at purchasing one of these units. And so really been doing a lot of research lately into how the systems work, what the different levels are. And so it's been really interesting, and I'm really excited to share that with you guys going forward. So if that's something you're interested in, be sure to subscribe. And then while I was out there, I did have the pleasure of meeting Mark and Valerie with At My Home. I ran into Reed and Allie from Smart Home Solver, as well as Dan from What's Inside. And so it was really fun to run into those guys, in addition to all the different media events that we saw. And Dan pointed out that they had the Teslas running underneath. So I did the tunnel that connects one side of the conference to the other. And that was pretty cool. My wife and I have a Model Y ourselves, but it was fun to go through a tunnel and see like how quick it was compared to trying to walk or wait for the shuttle or get an Uber. That's about it for what I saw out at CES. There's a lot of really cool new stuff. Looking forward to testing more products for you guys, and kind of help you out with making your smart home decisions. Until next time, take care.